So, like I said, again, you have the $100 for the orchard guys. We have it in Reed's office, I believe, for the assessment forms and the King Supers cards. Now, you guys' King Supers cards, I believe, are also in the cabinet, not in Kyle's office?
I think they're in Kyle's office now.
Okay.
Do you know Bill?
Kyle's office? Okay, they're in the same place in Kyle's office.
We just rely on Bill.
So don't ever be lost. Don't ever be gone. This is the thing that I think we're not doing a very great job on, is making sure that that is notified. Like if Mike for the Deterra guys is notified that that has happened, or for me for this side, or Reed. Because a lot of times my action points on the deacon spreadsheet is, we haven't had anything for like 4 or 5 months, and I'm pretty sure that's not correct. So that's the only thing, it'd be nice to let us know, I mean, for the Deterra guys, as long as you guys are keeping up with that, that's great. It's always good to go back, yes, we did give them consumers cards on this day, this day, this day. So having that information is just really nice for when more needs come up, that we can make sure that we understand what we have given them in full.
Bill, you always indicate on the envelopes what you've done, but do you have any other record besides that?
Notifies you in some way.
Only if it's given, not if it's a exchange of money.
Okay. And right now they're writing, Bill's writing it on the envelope.
Right.
I don't know what the process is here.
Well, we need to, probably should do it the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even just an email of, I gave a $50 King Supers card for whoever, and on this date for food. Just so that we can keep our action, because I'll show you when we get to our action step that it's,
Is it something I can do? Like if Bill's putting in the envelope, then I look at the other envelope, get them to do the same thing, and then I can report that week.
Yeah, that'd be fun too.
I mainly do it for your
Right.
Yeah,
information, so you know where to charge that.
yeah, so if we do that, I can
Oh,
be the
then-
collector.
Okay,
of all
perfect.
the
And then we just need that information to put
Get
in
it
our
to
action
you.
steps.
Okay, I'll work on getting that going.
All right.
Brian, I'm getting the sense that we're wanting to do this each time we give out cards now, as opposed to just a new circumstance where an executive decision.
Correct. We just want to be able to keep up with how much we've spent on King Supers cards. Because otherwise, all of a sudden, our Deacon's Fund could be at 0, and we're like, what happened? Where did all the money go? Then
That's
we'll
what's
know.
happening, kind of. It's
Exactly.
when I tell you
We don't know where
have
it's
10
going.
we have 10,000, we really don't, because
Correct.
it hasn't been adjusted for a while.
Correct.
So if we disperse it in our meetings, we need to let somebody know, but when Bill does it,
Correct.
we just put it on the envelope.
So the way you guys are doing it is actually pretty good. I'm just not getting the information, so.
Okay,
So
Or-
is
or
this
Mike.
not taking
Mike can do
place
it too
here at
for
all
you.
with Rick?
what's that?
Is this, are we not giving these cards out over here? I mean, I hear all this talk about what's going on over there, but
Selling.
selling
They're
only?
they're selling them, I don't know who you're giving them to over here.
We have not,
No
as far
one
as I
right
know,
now.
no one's
Okay.
been getting
Yeah,
So-
I
it.
don't think any of it.
Correct.
Because Beth was the last
So-
one, and I think we stopped with her.
Correct.
Yep,
So,
That's correct.
yeah, so,
So Rick isn't really even up to speed on how he should be recording if that were to take place.
yeah, and
So
I'll cover that with them.
Okay.
he's using the same envelope I am.
Yes.
Could you stop 1 second? Samuel, they're talking about a card they give to people in need. They can go to the grocery store like a credit card, and they're talking about how to make sure they're coordinating that between everyone. So it's a really neat way, instead of giving people cash, they give them a card to buy food.
Looks like what Bill has there. The main point is, let's keep track of them. Dale's gonna talk with both sites, and then we'll have sort of a good reporting system.
I've got a question on the financial assessment form. It seems like that's maybe 50-50 if it gets applied or not. I mean, is that something that if it's chronic, we need to do? If it's, I need groceries this month, beyond the $100? It doesn't seem like it's consistently applied.
We would like to try more to be more consistent with that. If it's a unique situation, that's just a one-time deal, we don't always ask for that. But that's an important step. We need to follow that protocol when we can and when it fits. We've got them back here in the boardroom. These guys have them in the cabinet upstairs at Datura. So we should use those forms.
And then that $100 is, where it's located there gives the indication that that's only if they're in the tender. I thought we had something that like it was a $25 cap if it was a drop-in on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, and that, you know, that's a good point because we did change that.
Why don't we add that in there, just up there?
Okay, so that's pretty much it for the decision tree. Here is the guiding principles of different situations that we've had to deal with in the past. Family first, that's why we try to make sure, are they part of our church? If they are, then yes, let's definitely move on with finding out what their needs are. Some situations will require elder guidance, which we've seen a couple times. It doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened a couple times. Before we can give out money, we need to make sure we have the blessing of one of the elders or the elders who is in charge of that person.
1 second, bro.
Go ahead.
Samuel, tell them that they're discussing now the difference between members of our church we help and people who come and want help, and principles for how we're going to discern who we're going to give to and when we're going to give to. Principles for people that are in the church, not in the church.
교회 안에 있는 사람이든지 교회 밖에 있는 사람이든지 어쨌든 자비사를 도와주는 데 있어서 원칙을 어떻게 할 것이냐 이런 것을 논의하는 시간입니다.
And I've given Samuel a copy of many of these forms, so he has that there.
Okay, I'm watching my time here real quick.
Yeah.
We're actually doing pretty good. Okay, so
I think
this.
we can zip through
go ahead.
that pretty quick and
You guys
just.
can read through this really quick.
Yeah.
This also is shared on the OneDrive. So Dave, for you, it's on the OneDrive. Just go ahead and double click on that. We're good to go.
Yeah.
If you need regular copies of that, we can make that happen. This is one thing that I really like. This is our calling to give someone a fresh start, temporary boost for someone who's having a rough time in their lives. Really, it's to be part of a family. If someone in our family is hurting, of course we're going to jump in and help, and that's really what our main focus is. The church is our family, and that's what we want to make sure we focus on, is we want to protect our church and help those who are in need. This is important. Do not offer loans. We're not a loaning company. We don't expect payment back for those who do it. If they want to pay it back, that's up to them. But we don't do interest or anything like that. In fact, I don't think we can because we'll get in trouble anyway.
돈을 지어주진 않는다.
No, Evan. No, we can't. And then this is something from in the past. This is from the elders, their principles of giving. Let's see. So now we have about maybe 10 minutes to go through actually first, let's talk about the joint meetings. What are we going to do with our joint meetings as we are moving forward? Since we're not going to necessarily do a lot of people needs in our joint meetings, and we're mostly doing those on our site-specific meetings, how often do we think we need to meet, Reed? Do you have an idea?
No, I think
You have
that
an
needs to
idea?
be open for discussion, but one thing we need to consider is how often and how to get the financial report to both sites. We're getting closer to the place where we could actually separate and have two sites and just meet when it fits the schedules. Each site could manage that, they could manage their people, principles of giving, and those types of things. At some point, some of this data may even split. Right now, we're still one church, but Dale, speak to the idea of how we could get that financial information that we're about to see today jointly. Would you go to 2 meetings to present that in the short term, or?
Could you stop 1 second, Reed? This chart is the people, names of people the deacons are responsible to help, with the name of the deacon who will help.
지금 여기 있는 사람들은 그 집사들이 자기가 책임지고 있는 돌봄 사람들의 명단. 각 사람마다 누구는 어떤 분은 돌봄을 하고 있고.
Go ahead, Reed, I'm sorry.
So the other question that we're debating is whether we can stop meeting jointly. Currently, we meet once a month all together, once a month separate. The question is, can we just separate now and meet? That's the question before us, but our financial issue is one. When do we do the financial report?
Well, I would say that one option we have is, I'll prepare the report as normal, give it to each site. It's pretty self-explanatory, usually. And if there are questions that come up at Datura that they want to ask about, Kyle or me could probably be contacted afterwards and an explanation be provided. If we want to go ahead and do the split now and use that second meeting that is a joint meeting currently for better purposes, maybe more focused care.
There's our scary question. Do you think we're ready to fly solo? To separate?
Are you gonna remain the treasurer for both sides?
This is a different
That's the
question.
big
In the short term, that would still continue like that.
Short term, 6 months?
Maybe by September, we might be needing to think about something else.
Well, Kyle is currently looking for someone to
Okay.
handle the Datura site.
All right.
If that works, that if we find somebody, then we get them kind of watching over my shoulder for a little while, and then they'll take off with Datura.
Are any of the deacons from Datura interested in being treasurer?
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's a yes.
It's absolutely not.
Like the army, so.
Mike, I don't even think Mike is really.
Mike
he's
would
not
be
here
the
to
only
speak
one,
for himself.
probably. Mike would be the only one.
We're close.
Since he's not here,
He
we
can't
nominate
handle it.
him. You know, honestly, I think Mike could sort of be your liaison, just at least present it in the short term.
Let's not get too hasty, because if Kyle's the one that's looking for that person, it probably needs to be an elder who, in a sense, approves it. I know you're younger,
Yeah.
but just something to,
Yeah.
we've had this with Awana, we gotta make sure we don't overstep our bounds.
Well said.
If you are interested, talk to Kyle. That would probably be where I would go.
Where it Mike's by me, so. In terms of meetings, should we give it a try to just say we're ready to separate?
The only question I see in, separating and not having some sort of, get-together would be in the issue of our deacons fund and what level that gets down to in a quick way. A monthly report would probably suffice. It doesn't seem like we drop too quickly on any one month, but we can't both spend the same money. We just have to keep an eye on where, what that level is. as
Well,
it's going
Datura
down.
could just keep the deacons fund, and you guys could start your own.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not proposing or think that it should be split in any way at this point, but we just need to be mindful of what that balance is.
Maybe we should go
split
to
division.
every other month meet combined, so
Okay.
that we get an every other month snapshot of the budget and talk about, I don't know what else we're gonna talk about, to be honest.
Does it sound like a good proposal? Every other month?
I
Or
don't
maybe-
even know
maybe
that we
just
need to
quarterly.
meet every other month.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm just saying that's one of the things we need to be mindful of. is I don't
That's a
even know if we
good,
need
that's a
that.
good
But the
point.
biggest thing is making sure that that Dale is keeping in touch with you
Yeah.
tour guys to make sure that we all know how much is getting used.
Would that work, Dale, for you to just sort of be the bird dog watching it, and when you see, whoa, these guys are getting a little out of hand here, or just to say, here's our, just put out a bulletin for all of us to say, it's trickling down, here's our limits?
Sure.
So maybe if we had that piece of advice, the rest of it could be site-specific, huh?
I'm thinking so.
I am too.
I see some heads in the audience, can somebody make an official
I propose that we
motion?
meet quarterly As,
Which every 4 months. So this would be
That's
the
every
one.
3 months.
No.
Sorry.
Quarterly is every 3 months.
Math is good.
Every 3
Where do I
months
plug this in?
that we meet
Yes, every 3
as
months.
a total group, quarterly.
Well, if there's a thought that we might be completely on our own in September, that would be May and August.
Right.
So why don't we just, we plan
Say
on getting
May.
together on May and a
May and
final
August?
meeting in August and close it that way.
Evan, you started that motion. Are you okay with his amendment
Yeah,
to say May and August would meet that quarterly thing in the short term?
sure.
So we changed that motion to say we meet in May and August. We'll get Brian to send out notice on that, and then otherwise it's site-specific, set your time, set your dates, work with your people lists, ongoing needs, and call it good.
So I'll
Wow.
second that.
Okay.
Does that add to your burden, Dale? Does that add to your burden being the watchdog of that?
No, not at all. I look at all the disbursements every month anyway, so I'll be able to see if there's any big items that are hitting the Deacon's Fund.
Okay.
It's easy.
So I might
We'll
make a
still
note.
have a combined report as of
Yes.
time being.
So Brian, can we just make a note, maybe even a smaller font on the agenda that just shows upcoming meetings for the next 6 months or so?
Yeah, I have that down here.
And then just, if you fill in the
And,
data
I'm
on
gonna
that,
take this to site specific.
location, all that stuff, we'll keep that in fresh, just shoving it ahead on the agenda all along the way.
Just put a third bullet point for the May and do we want to do the second Sunday like we've done?
I think you have to for the financials, so yeah. we have to.
Yeah.
So maybe a bullet point, May, whatever it would be. And
Yeah, we have August, we want August, right?
May and August.
May and August.
May
May
and
and August. So the end of May and the end of August.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 week, 7 week.
Okay.
Did you say the second Sunday?
Yeah,
Second of the Sundays, which would be actually the fourth Sunday typically, right?
Yeah, I'm looking up on my
we've generally done
calendar.
the joint on the second.
Well,
Second.
we used to do the joint on
Yeah.
this. Lately, it's been the fourth.
Yeah, the split, yeah.
All
Which
right,
I
so
like, but.
May would be May 22nd.
You
Is
like
that-
the fourth?
Yeah.
Well, let's do it the fourth.
Last, before.
So the 22nd.
Fourth
So the
Sunday
22nd
of
is
May
the 4th of May, is the
Okay.
fourth
And
Sunday.
fourth of August, fourth
May
Sunday.
22nd.
You just
Okay.
run into Labor Day, whatever that is.
Yeah, we'll have
That
to
would
watch
be the
that.
week before, actually. The 29th. probably.
Okay.
Let's let Brian just manage those, keep us fresh, send those invites out, and we'll be good to go on.
Yeah, so the other one would be the 26th for, oops, sorry, that's June. Hang on. You're in the right month. Yeah, 28th.
Tell them that we just
28th.
decided the next
28th
two meetings, and then in
of
September, they're gonna
August.
split the group, the two
And
churches,
we're,
to be independent.
Labor Day's the next week, John? The 28th of August, when is Labor Day?
It's in the September.
Labor Day is, I didn't see Labor Day.
It'd be
Oh, Labor Day is
September.
the 5th of September.
So that would work.
It'd be a
Yeah,
week before.
so that would actually, so it would be the Sunday before Labor Day week.
Yeah.
So that would work fine.
Okay.
Okay, so I have that.
What's our time, Brewer?
Yes, we need to do the financial. I think we're ready. Oh, one last thing right before we get there. One thing that's on my list here is, are you guys going through the Deacon Point Man list and making sure that it's updated to Tura?
Haven't been.
Okay. Mike has all of that information, so I put that in your agenda just to make sure that, just reviewing it, how often you're supposed to get in contact with them. I noticed Bruce and Melita Hayes, Melita was still on there, so it definitely needs to be updated. And if there's any new ones, you guys have full control over that file, so go for it.
Quick question here, do we have any orchard guys or appointment over detour people currently,
I don't think
or
so.
vice versa?
Yes,
people.
yes, we do have a couple, but we have decided to keep it that way for now,
Okay.
due to some circumstances.
All right.
Just to share.
Okay, am I up?
You're up.
Okay, the first page shows the combined January activity. And we had 75,700 come in offerings. Unfortunately, this does not show what we used to see, and that is what our budget for January's offerings actually is. Because what we're doing is, if you look at the second page, we're showing the whole year's budget on the second page and the first 2 months, December and January's actual offerings on the second page there. We can't really show any longer the month-by-month budget because we're doing it differently this year. But between these 2 pages here, we should get a pretty good picture of where we're at. If you look at the second page, if you're wondering about offerings, how we're doing, that's a good page to look at. We've got 207,000 that came in for both sites. Our budget for the year is 943,000. We should have at least 2 months worth, which is 16% of the year. And you look at that fourth column and you see that we've got actually 22%. So thumbs up on that. Expenses the same way. If you look at the expenses, the total expenses, we paid $162,000 out of our $943,000 budget. And so we've spent 17%, which is right on budget. 2 months worth, 1/6 roughly. Okay? So that's how we kind of are now looking at these first 2 pages. Okay? The third page, there's no change to that, and we've always looked at the deacons fund balance on that page. And that's $10,900, but it does have to be adjusted a little bit by some of the cards we've given out over the last few months. So we have a pretty healthy budget for the deacons fund right now. And then the fourth and fifth page have not changed at all. Shows our designations that we still have not paid out. And then the week-by-week receipts is on the last page. And that's where you can see also how much we got in general fund offerings for the Ventura site and how much for the Orchard site. Now, I do have another 2 pages of reports that we could do a little further analysis if you are interested in just your site and how the spending that we see on the second page that's actually combined, how it's broken down site by site. So that's what I had asked if anybody wants to see that last month, and Bill said yes, and I think I sent you an email with that attached. And I can do that, and that will be a good extra report for the Ventura site.
You have that in paper there?
And I do have like 3 copies, and we can make more if anybody wants this month's.
I wonder if you all think that it would be good going forward for that just to be included in the report. Is it just 1 page? Could you put that on 1 more page? Or
Not, well, it's 2 sites, so.
2 pages?
2 pages.
How much in terms of labor and?
Well, it's not that much, it's just we knocked down a couple more trees.
Trees?
Yeah.
So we're creating jobs.
Yeah, so, I actually, what do you guys think? Would it be valuable to have that
I think,
site by
I
site?
think we really
At
was.
least for now. I think-
Was it?
I think so, splitting it out. So
All right,
let's do it.
Ventura and Orchard can see
All right, and
that.
I'll include it, it'll make it a 7-page report going forward, but there's not that many of us or something,
Yeah,
you know.
and then eventually that may change anyway, once we're site specific, but for now, I think that'd be great to have.
All right, I've got 2 extra sets.
Anybody else want to see?
Anybody else?
The breakdown?
You want one? Okay, they're gone. You can make copies.
Print some more of
Somebody else
these.
wants one. Okay, any questions?
I might make just a brief comment from the standpoint of missions. On the page 4, you see Malinalco, church rent, and then Malinalco, there's some of those monies that very likely could be going to the purchase of land down in Mexico. Tim Stark's down there now looking, and this would be a cool thing for our church to see, that if that's as God would lead. So that's a matter for prayer. Just a quick mission moment there. Yeah. How we doing time-wise?
Good.
Anything else you need to do, Brian?
I have a couple other items on here we need to take care of. One is job descriptions. These are site-specific now. So have you guys started them at Deterra? Okay, you guys gotta start yelling at Mike a little bit. So we decided it's probably best if we do this site-specific instead of together, especially now that we're spreading our meetings out a little bit. So we've started them at Orchard. You guys just need to start them back up at Deterra as well. Deacon exposure program. What's the next step? Where we?
That's going to be site-specific as well, and David has indicated that he's interested in going on. So one of the next steps that we'll need to do is schedule a deacon-only discussion about that. So that'd be the next step. We want to just
Is
make
that
an
going to be
agenda item on
combined
that,
or site-specific?
that'd be a site-specific meeting. And then the Datora guys, you need to do the same thing. And since Mike isn't here and Bill Scott isn't here, somebody just needs to take the task to let them know what those next steps would be for Jay, Tony, if,
And then the congregational review will be
That would come
site-specific
after.
as well? We're not
Yes.
gonna have,
yeah, I think that we can do that all be site-specific. So we need to, this is part of our already not yet, we're splitting some of those things that will be handled in-house at each site. So that's part of our deal, but that's coming up. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
it's your job to train all deacons.
You train me, brother.
All right, so the other thing is the civil emergency response plan. I know Bill talked about this. He said nothing at this point. He's not here, so we'll just table it for now.
Table that.
We'll put this on the next one, and maybe I don't think that's site-specific. So I have in here, I'll send this out to you guys, the dates of the combined. Otherwise, all of them will be site-specific. Do you guys still want me to invite you guys to the Datura only ones, or does Mike want to do that? For inviting you guys, reminding you of the meetings? Should I just do those?
Why don't you talk to Mike about how he wants to
Mike's
handle that?
gonna do it.
He has been doing it? Okay, so I'll just keep that with you guys, because I know you guys changed some of your meetings around a little bit, so, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect, I'll just leave that up to you guys, and I'll just take care of Orchard and the combined. Okay, anything else that we have?
One thing I think I might like to do for the sake of our visitors
Sure.
is go back to our data page
Right here.
and everybody pull out your Samsung made in Korea.
Dad, hey Dale.
The goal
It's on
is,
yours now.
Samuel, you can
I
tell
took it off
them,
your Gmail.
we're trying to put
Yeah.
many of these things, instead of on paper every time, onto the computer, so people can use their smartphone and go on and find this kind of information. Who is the person we're watching out for? What is the category? They're shut-in, special needs, sick. Who's the point man, person in charge? What are the notes? Here we have one of our sister who helps out with this special need. So we just have these notes online, people can go and find them.
Would you let Samuel come up, and if this is what that would be important to them? Samuel, would you come up front here?
And what you can
He'll
do,
tell you what.
That, I don't know how up to date this is, as far as we're concerned. I think that probably needs more work, but that's site-specific. So here's the important list that everyone wants to
Yes,
see.
just take them through that real quickly.
So what this is the name. It's over here on the left.
이름들이 있고요.
This is the category. So we have,
카테고리가 있고
yep, special needs, sick long-term.
특별하게 뭐 필요한 거, 어디 아픈 거, 뭐 이런 것들.
And then this is the point man, who the person who's in charge of getting in touch with them.
누가 이제 다른 그 관계된 사람하고 누가 책임지고 돌볼 것이냐는 것이고
Sometimes we have two. It's always good to have two in case someone is
어떤
sick.
경우에 두 분이 이제 책임을 지기도 하고.
Or slacking. Depending on what you want. This is other information, people who are also close that we can contact if we need extra information.
도움이 필요한 사람과 관계돼서 누가 옆에 가까이 사는 사람이 있는지.
And this is how often we think we need to meet. Monthly.
만약에 그 사람을 돌본다 그러면 도움 필요한 사람을 이렇게 가족이 돌볼 것이냐, 또 매달마다 돌볼 것이냐, 격주로 돌볼 것이냐, 혹은 장로들과 연관해서 할 것이냐 이런 것을 표시를 합니다.
And then here is other information you really don't need, but we have their address, contact information is all in here. So there's their addresses.
주소라든지 그 도움 필요한 분의 주소라든지 연락처 같은 거.
You may want to show the widows.
The widows?
Same thing for the widows.
이거는 이제
Oh.
그 이망인 남편이 없는 경우에 경우에 관한 것이고요.
Well, that's why I'm all off here. Yeah, so here's the widows list down here in the bottom.
네, 그리고 지금
Specifically for Deterra.
Specifically for Datura.
특별히 아까 저기 드터라 지역에 있는 그 미망인들, 남편 없는 자매들 이름들이
And here's our volunteer list, people who we can contact if we need extra help.
또 자기가 자원해서 이것을 돕기를 원하는 자원자들 이름들도 있고요.
And then this
Where'd
is,
you go to school?
where did I go to school?
We'll get him to help him with his spell.
Let's go meet outside here real quick.
Brian,
I never said I was good at spelling.
Did you say that the widows was site specific?
Yes, we have the widow site specific.
You have orchard deacons on there in charge of some of
Yeah.
it.
On the Windows tab, it is not. On the Widows tab, it's not, but in the Datura, right here, it is not. This is site specific here. Over here, it's all the widows put together from both sites. Does that make sense?
양쪽에 있는 그 미망인들의 자원자들.
Reed asked for that a long time ago, and that's what we did.
And as you
We
can
really
see-
haven't gotten used.
So we need to do some updating and work on a few of these things. We'd like to do that site-specific too,
Mhm.
and get that fixed.
Oops, sorry, go back.
What is the action point?
So the action points is, this is when we give money to people. Let me calm this down a little bit here. So this is the date that we give the money, to whom we give it to.
그 돈을 물질을 이제 누구에게 줬느냐 이름이 나와 있고.
This is for what for? So food, job
돈을
tools.
주고 돈을 이렇게 자비를 베푸는 것의 목적이 뭐냐 여기 보니까 뭐 음식 주고 음식과 연관된 거네. 또 어떤 경우는 자기가 필요한 그 하는 데 있어서 어떤 기부를 사기 위해서 주기도 하고.
This is the how much column, how much we've given them.
그 얼마큼 줬느냐는 돈 액수가 말이에요.
Then this one here is how long. Like sometimes we'll do 3 months at a time, 6 months at a time. This is just kind of information about how long we
이
provide care.
돈을 주면서 이렇게 돌보는데 3개월까지 할 것이냐 또 한 번 할 것이냐 6개월간 할 것이냐 이렇게 표시가 되어 있습니다.
Date ending, because a lot of times in our meetings we say, when are we stopping care for this specific person? It's always good to have
이
that
사람들
information.
구체적으로 언제까지 이렇게 할 것이냐.
And Brian,
Yes, sir.
reassessing, does it continue on after that?
Correct. Yep, that's correct. So here we also reassess, so we need to reassess in August 17th. Do we need to continue with care?
또 어떤 경우는 이제 그때까지 정해놨지만 필요하면 계속해서 더 할 수도 있고.
And then you have your responsible party, the person who is giving them the money, because that's an important step. Don't forget to give it, even if you've approved it, doesn't mean you're going to give it to them. You still have to have someone to do it.
누가 이제 구체적으로 이것을 책임지고 이제 도와줄 것이냐. 책임지는 집사 같은 이름이겠죠.
Yep. And then that's the reason why we're giving them the help.
왜 도움을 주냐 하는 것은 이유를 여기 또 설명해놨어요. 어떤 면에서 도움이 필요하고 왜 또 도움이 필요한가에 대해서 설명을 요약되어 있습니다.
And we always have two people for a big amount. We always have two people. One person who motions it and one person who seconds it to make sure that at least two people agree that they need to have the help.
Excuse me, but I can understand what the motion and second what's the difference?
Yeah, so motion is someone says, I think we should give somebody $200. And then Reed can say, I second the motion, means I also approve. And then we know, or agree, same as agree.
처음에 이 앞부분은 이제 누가 이렇게 좀뭐 100불 100불 주겠다 그렇게 하는 게 좋지 않겠냐 하면 그것에 대해서 다른 분이 동의한다 안 동의한다 다른 분의 견해도 있습니다. 혼자 결정하지 않고 이제 다른 집사들하고 같이 논의된 그것이 뒤에도 있다고 하는 것도 표시해줍니다.
And this is our end of year gifts. We always give end of year gifts to people who need it or who could use a little extra uplifting. So this is our list we keep track of every year for who we've given money to. It's an encouragement is what it is.
2015년도에 준 것에 대한 이름들을
On this, I might add, this year, one of our brothers who's not here, Bill Scott, said, instead of just sending money, let's send a little gift pack. So they made together a little gift with a blanket and a plaque and a book, and it was a very well received. The ladies, many widows, loved it. So instead of just money in a card, we did that. So
그래서 요새 제안하는 것은 단순히 돈을 그냥 직접 주는 것보다 오히려 선물처럼 해서 그 안에 필요한 것들을 집어넣는 것이 더 좋지 않겠냐. 때로는 뭐 책이라든지 것도 같이 넣어서 그것도 또 효과가 있는 것 같다고 얘기합니다.
then I think in the interest of time, we should close the meeting. But if you want to stay around a little while before we go back to the Datura site for the study, we can do a walkthrough. But I think we should go ahead and disperse. So, thank you, Brian, for this setup. This is not our usual way. We should let everybody know.
이게 항상 이런 식으로 보이는 건 아니네요.
Normally, we just put tables, and we sit around the table, and we work on the agenda and
서로
talk.
책상 가지고 하고
But this time, we needed the screen, we need to see and talk about things. So,
특별히 이렇게 서로 확인하기 위해서 이런 식으로 모였지.
Reed, what is the heart of your work? What, if you were to tell these people, what is the heartbeat of this work?
Yes.
what our purpose is. You need to repeat the question?
그 형님이 뭐를 질문했냐면 이 집사로서 일하면서 가장 어려운 것이 뭐냐라고 물어봤어요.
This is a good purpose statement. It summarizes what comes out of Alex's book, Deacons, Ministers of Mercy.
그러니까 이 그 사역에 있어서 가장 중요하게 이 집사의 역할은 어쨌든 자비의 사역이다. 이것을 확실히 이렇게 확보하게 하고요.
So, can you just read that and translate? Maybe just the deacons are servants of the church.
어쨌든 이 집사는 교회의 종이고 그리고 그들의 사역 아니 목적입니다. 그들의 사역은 공식적으로 또 책임 있게 성도 도움이 필요한 지체들의 필요를 또 복지를 책임져 주는 것이고 그래서 이것은 일단 그들에게 시간과 그리고 그들의 필요한 대로 또는 말씀이나 기도나 이런 것들도 같이 제공하는 것이고 그리고 의무라고 하는 것은 그 목적이 이제 그거고요. 의무는 이제 조직적으로 참여를 해서
Which one are you on now? This one? I think that's enough for now. I have given these papers to our brother, and you can talk about some of those things. But the main thing is, this is a way that we can help the elders. When these people, these deacons meet, they work with ongoing needs. Sometimes when there's an acute need, the elders will go to the hospital and pray, but if it's ongoing, many times the deacons can take these to care for the saints.
그 장로님 같은 경우는 갑자기 뭐 도움이 필요하거나 혹은 병원에 입원하면 갑작스럽게 찾아가서 이렇게 신방도 하고 그러지만 집사들 같은 경우는 이제 지속적으로 돌보는 자비 사역을 지속적으로 하는 데 좀 중점 두고 있다.
Anything else, bro?
Anything you would like to say to our brethren in Korea that you would like to pass on to them?
어떤 거든지 우리 한국 형제들한테 하고 싶은 말이 있으면 하라고 집사 사역과 연관해서.
First, I would like to just welcome you here and thank you for coming. Because you came, we did not have to send Alex all the way over there.
It was a close vote, though.
첫 번째 정확하게 하는
Especially the ones we take it.
형제님이 하고 가지 않고 오히려 형제님들이 이렇게 와서 형제님들 이렇게 대가를 치고 온 거에 대해서 다시 한번 감사하고.
And I'm happy, as is any of these guys, Alex or others who continue to talk by telephone or email, you can answer some questions.
Do you have any questions for Reed or the brothers here? Do you have any questions?
질문 있으면 오히려 좀 하시라고 하는데. 질문할 거 있으면.
집사를 세우는데 지금 이렇게 연세가 좀 드셨잖아요. 필요에 따라서 이게 뭐 공석이 되었을 때 세우는지 아니면 어떤 형제님이 은사가 드러났을 때 세우는지.
So do you have any plan for the raising deacon candidate? Or what, do you have any particular program for that? For example, if you have some kind of limitation of the member, you already set up certain members for the deacons. So if anyone is missing, then you would like to replace replace other new deacons, or you are trying to find any other potential deacons and try to persuade him to participate this group, or what are you doing?
Very good question.
좋은 질문인데요.
We are always, just like with elders, looking for new leaders, new deacons.
우리 항상 장로들이 그런 것처럼 항상 그 집사 자격이 있다고 싶은 그 새로운 집사를 계속 찾고 있습니다.
Rather than go and persuade somebody you should be a deacon, we like to watch somebody who has that heart. They already care, they already help, they already give, and find ways to minister.
어떤 사람 찾아와서 집사직 하는 게 어때라고 막 이렇게 강요하거나 혹은 이렇게 설득하기보다는 이미 이렇게 성도들을 돌보고 이 자비 사역을 하고 있는 사람을 우리가 찾아보고 있다고.
Every so often, maybe once a year, we will have a class.
그래서 1년에 한 번 정도 이 클래스를 받는데요.
And in that class, we'll make use of Alex's book, and we'll hand out these papers like I gave Samuel, and we'll talk about what it means to be a deacon, what it means to be qualified to be a deacon, and if that man wants to continue on. And then we will have them come along with us and sit at the meetings and maybe go on visits to see what it's like to be a deacon.
그래서 이제 1년에 한 번 정도 그렇게 지켜봐서 잘하고 있다고 생각되는 사람 초청해가지고 클래스를 한번 운영을 하면서 집사의 목적이 뭐고 또 일이 뭐라고 하는 것을 같이 설명을 하고 같이 우리가 하는 것을 같이 한번 참석해 보겠느냐, 또 신방하면서 실제적으로 이렇게 물질을 돕고 하는 것을 같이 동참해 보도록 그렇게 권유를 한답니다.
And I also have given those papers that tell the policy of those procedures, how we do that.
또 우리가 어떻게 이것을 진행하는지에 대한 이 실제적인 여기 좀 단계들이 좀 있는데 그것도 설명을 좀 해줍니다.
And the policy concludes with a congregational survey where anyone in the congregation looks, is this man qualified? And they can answer yes or no and communicate it that way. And again, I have a copy of that in there.
Anonymously.
Now, people can fill that out anonymously.
오케이. 그러고 나서 이제 결국에 가서는 교회 전체적으로 이렇게 아무개 사람에 대해서 집사로 섬기는 것에 대해서 어떤 이의가 있거나 혹은 문제가 있다는 그러면 이제 무기명으로 써서 제출해라. 그래서 또 그런 것이 문제가 없으면 이제 할 수 있도록 전체적인 회중의 반응을 보는 거예요.
So I think what I'd like to do is close now. In the interest of time, are you all going to go to the Bible study over at the detour site?
No, we're just gonna, is there someone that could take us through here real quickly?
I'd be glad to.
Yeah.
Give you the nickel tour. Yeah. Let's close in prayer. Thank you, Brother Marco. Our Father, we come in the name of Jesus. We thank you for your grace in our lives that you sent your Son. And then, Lord, for your word to set up this process of two offices in the church, elders and deacons. We are so thankful for your wisdom that you have set it up this way. We pray that we can follow in that plan. We thank you for these men that have served. This is a momentous occasion for our church. Tonight we decided that these deacons can now be site-specific. We can work in our own churches. In one way that's scary. We love these brothers and we're going to miss these brothers. And yet we also see that this is a key moment as the church is growing and expanding and spreading. May you guard us, watch over us, Lord, by your Holy Spirit. May you work in us so that we can be faithful stewards of the tasks you've given us. And just as we've been reminded of the process of bringing on new men, may you bring to us elders and deacons to continue to serve in leadership and other positions in the church, Lord, as we go to two Awana programs, as we have Sunday school, youth, women's ministries. There are so many needs. Will you raise up your people as Jesus told the disciples? We beseech the Lord of the harvest to send forth workers. We want to pray for our brothers and sisters from South Korea as well. And the assemblies that they have there, Lord, may you work in them to bring about great growth, great obedience to your word and the principles in your word. We thank you that they've come all this way to listen in and be a part of what's going on here. So dismiss us now with your grace, and we We thank you in Jesus' name.
아멘.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. I will be sure that everybody gets
원래 이곳은 유대인들의 회당이었는데 10분의 1 가격에 샀다고 합니다. 굉장히
many repairs to do.
데투라 사이트보다는 앞뒤로 긴
The front of the
예배당
church
홀을 보유하고 있습니다.
we're in a Baptist church.
가족인데? 화장실이야. 화장실. 애들. 이 깔끔하게 해놓은 거. 응? 화장실. 애들 쓰는 화장실인가 봐. 이것도 좀 찍어봐요. 아이들 화장실이래.
근데 비케를 마루로 했네.
밑에 그 우리도 못 흘리게 돼 있잖아요. 호텔. 그래 여기는 물이 이렇게 청소가 안 되고 그냥 이렇게 생긴단 말이야. 여기 밑에가 물 빠지는 곳이 없구만. 여기도 그렇게 있어. 하나 셋으로 나눠져 있어. 여기 방이네 다. 아니 사모님 셋 아니고. 이것도.
So this building is separate. And that building is.
주일학교는 저희 사무실을 갖다. 여기 방이 더 많은 것 같은데. 더 많은 것 같아. 와, 땅이 넓어?
네. 놀이터까지 연결돼가지고.
아이고.
Lots of space. Over here we might build another building.
저쪽도 마음에 건물 저기까지 다
This is our property line.
이거 이렇게 나무 아닌가? 이렇게 놀이터랑 저거는
놀이터가
집 놀이터.
저쪽이죠, 저쪽.
집 놀이터.
But over here, this is our property over here. That's ours. And all of this to the trees. So you see the moon? Everybody see the moon coming up? Go upstairs. But then this one downstairs, you can see how
아까 들어갔는데 그쪽으로. 아까 거기에요.
아까 이렇게 밑에
지하가 아까 거기에요.
아까는 밑으로 내려가서 여기 아까 회의했던 데고 여기가 이제 또 청소년들 4학년, 5학년
여기는 타워도
during the week they have women's Bible study.
또 여기서 자매들 성경 공부해요.
So 4th and 5th grade. Multi-purpose room. This could be a big room too.
뭐 다목적용으로 많이 쓴다고.
Somebody's camera back?
이거 하나만 가져왔냐? 다른 건안 가져왔어.
Here's an exit. It's important because of wheelchairs. Is Samuel there? Yeah, so this one goes with a wheelchair. If somebody comes, wheelchair, right? So this would be,
Remember my daughter Chelsea, who you met?
yeah.
She does all the promotional work for kids. She makes all the brochures, they check it out.
So we won't go, we'll come back in here, but I want to see the wheelchair ramp. So junior high school.
아 여기 이제 중고등학교는
Get
여기.
that light, man, will you grab that light too?
Yep.
So this is be junior high school, they have games in here.
여기 이제 중고등학교 학생들.
Reed, did they take some walls?
게임방.
아우 이렇게 이렇게 갖춰져 있네. 우리가 가장 가고 싶어.
놀면서 할 수 있는.
우리가 가장 가고 싶어하는 방이.
아, 게임방이 딱 있잖아.
애들이 놀 수 있도록.
저희가 가장 게임.
싸.
당구대도 좀 필요하고.
저거하고 이거하고 당구대하고 넣는 거에 지금 뭐라고 그랬어? 세 가지만 있어.
주차장이 축구장이네요.
축구장보다 더 넓다 야.
이야, 이거 여기도 주차장이에요.
주차장이 훨씬 넓네. 주차장이 운동장 맞아, 운동장. 여기서 운동하거든.
여기는 옥차드 사이트 예배당 건물입니다.
Okay, brother.